Two police officers are expected to live, but they're still in critical condition after a shooting in New York City.
They were wearing plain clothes last night, coming off their shift. They heard about a grocery store robbery and found the suspects in a Chinese restaurant as they opened fire. One of the suspects was caught today. The other showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. The officers are currently listed as stable.
One is a 30-year-old male who suffered gunshot wounds to the left arm and the lower back, and he is currently in the operating room and is listed in critical but stable condition. The other officer is 38 years old. He was shot in the chest and left arm and is also listed in stable condition.
With the recent deaths of two New York City police officers and this last night's police shooting, we're looking at how many law enforcement officials faced gunfire last year.
A drastic increase has now forced many departments to undergo additional training to prepare for a situation where bullets might be exchanged.
Today, ABC 17's Lindsay Henry spoke with several police agencies about what they're doing to keep officers safe.
Nationwide, the number of police deaths has drastically increased over the last year, a reason why local agencies here at the Capitol are doing things to try to help prevent that.
Well, after a trooper goes through the academy, they continue to train throughout the years. Every year we have training that involves maybe driving safety, maybe it's safety on firearms, safety in intense situations, intruder training, things like that. All these things go together and helps us to stay ready in case there is an incident that happens in front of us.
Sergeant Paul Reich with the Missouri State Highway Patrol says troopers are constantly training. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, 50 officers across the nation were killed by guns in 2014. 15 of those were ambush deaths. In total, 126 officers were killed, including those in federal, state, local, and territorial agencies. Those killed by firearms has increased 56% in just 1 year.
I think most of us here at some point in our career, those of us that maybe are younger or just starting the career, we have a number of new officers, haven't had to experience it, but most likely throughout their career they'll experience something where they're either threatened with death or threat of death, or they'll actually face it.
Captain Doug Shoemaker with the Jefferson City Police Department says constantly training police is something that prevents them from becoming a statistic.
In the state of Missouri, we have mandatory in-service requirements. So every 3 years, officers in this state must complete 48 hours of in-service training.
And even when the temperatures drop, troopers are outside training, preparing themselves for whatever comes their way.
Obviously things happen, whether it's spring, summer, winter, if it's cold, raining, or whatever the situation is. We're out there at all times, and our troopers are out training today with firearms.
Out of the total number nationwide, 49 of those were traffic-related fatalities. In Jefferson City, Lindsay Henry, ABC 17 News.
We also asked Captain Shoemaker if the events that took place in Ferguson and New York will affect recruiting. He says he should have an idea of that impact within a few months.